This is why I have struggled for so long to increase my upper body lifts. Yeah, I got the lab results back. These numbers are off the charts. I've never seen bench press numbers this low in my entire professional career. Right. No, what we need to do is up his pressing dosage to 4 times weekly. Right. Okay, bye. Hey everyone, I'm here in my lab comparing some test results from my old training logs. Am I a scientist? Am I a doctor? I don't really know. In this video, I'm gonna compare 531 to my current training routine. Why 531? Well, because I was doing 531 this time last year, and I wasn't making any progress, but I am now. So what's the difference? Also, I get asked all the time what I think about 531, and I hear a lot of people say that they're currently following 531. And if you Google what is the best strength training program, you'll see that 531 is the second top answer. And the first result, according to this website, lists starting strength first, followed by 531. I remember when I first came across 531 on T Nation. The titles 531, How to Build Raw Strength, and 531, the simplest and most effective training system to build raw strength, are both very appealing to a noob who's hungry for new gains. Now, I have 2 responses to people who are following 531. Situation number 1. Someone says to me, I'm currently following 531 and I like it a lot. It's great. My response? Rock on. Keep it up. Situation number 2. Someone says to me, I want to get as strong as possible. Would you recommend 531? My response? Absolutely not. And the reason, there is just not enough volume at the right intensity for an intermediate lifter. Now, intensity refers to the load being used. Basically, a percentage of your 1 rep max. 5 reps at 80% is a higher intensity than 5 reps at 60%. Now, volume refers to the amount of reps you're doing. Volume can be increased by doing more reps in a given set, a set of 5 reps versus a set of 8 reps. Volume can be increased by doing more sets, 3 sets of 5 versus 5 sets of 5. And volume can be increased with higher frequency, squatting once per week to squatting twice per week. You can look at volume in a workout. 3 sets of 5 is 15 total reps. Or you can look at volume in an entire week. 3 sets of 5 reps, 3 times per week is a total of 45 reps. Now, you can't really measure the value of volume without the context of intensity. 50 reps doesn't mean much. 50 reps with 70% will produce a different result than 50 reps with 30%. So I'm gonna compare volume, reps, and intensity, percentage of 1 rep max, of 531 and my current training routine. Now, I'm doing this because all of my lifts are increasing on my current program that Austin Baraki has me following. And I was not making any progress on 531 for a very long time. I want to illustrate why. Now, when I say that my lifts are increasing, I'm referring to my 1, 2, 3, 4, and even 5 rep maxes for the squat, the press, the deadlift, and the bench press. So before we begin, I understand this is a bit out of context. It's just 1 week of my entire training block, and volume and intensity changes every week leading up to a competition, but we're here to have some fun. Now, I just finished a low stress week, which 531 refers to as a deload week. You probably saw that in the last video I posted. So I'm gonna compare my first week back from my current routine with the first week back on 531, week 1. So week 1, day 1 of 531, squat day. Set number 1, 5 reps at 65% of a 90% training max. That equals 5 reps at 58.5%. Set number 2, 5 reps at 75% of a 90% training max. That's 5 reps at 67.5%. And set number 3, 5 plus reps at 85% of a 90% training max. Looking back in my training log, I would average twice the prescribed reps, sometimes more, sometimes less. So for sake of simplicity, 10 reps, and that's at 76.5%. Any of you who are familiar with 531 know that the numbers are calculated off a training max, which is 90% of your true 1 rep max. So for squats, that's a weekly total of 20 reps at an average intensity of 69.75%. Now, my current routine. So I primarily follow RPE training. RPE stands for rate of perceived exertion. It's a 1 through 10 numerical scale. RPE 10 means you could not do another rep, a true max. RPE 9 means you could do one more, but not two. RPE 8 means you could do two more, but not three. RPE 7 means you could do three more, but not four, and so on. RPE below 6 does not count as anything, it's a warm-up. And you can use 0.5 value. For example, RPE 8.5 means you could do one more, maybe two. I will provide a link down in the description area to a table that lists RPE value and its corresponding percentage of your 1 rep max. For example, 1 rep at RPE 10 equals 100%, and 5 reps at RPE 8 is 81%. This table is where I'm getting these percentages from. Now, last note, not all of my training is RPE based. Sometimes I work up to a set at a given RPE, and then I take a percentage of that number and perform those sets and reps regardless of what RPE they are. Confused yet? This will all make sense in a minute. So, my current routine. Monday, August 28th. I squatted a top single at RPE 8, which equals 1 rep at 92%, followed by 5 sets of 5 reps with 20% less than my top single. That's 25 reps at 72%. On Thursday, August 31st, I performed pause squats. 5 reps at RPE 7 is 5 reps at 79%. 5 reps at RPE 8 is 5 reps at 81%. The next set, 5 reps at RPE 9. That's 5 reps at 84%. Then I subtracted 10% of my RPE 9 set and performed 2 sets of 5 reps at 74%. Now, I understand that I'm using modified lifts, so in absolute terms, a pause squat at RPE 8 is not going to be the same percentage as a normal squat at RPE 8, but it's all relative. That's kind of the beauty of RPE. It's automatically scaled to the movement being performed. So 5 pause squats at RPE 7 would be 79% of my paused squat max. Variations and assistance work are topics that will be covered in a future video, not this one. Just let me compare my numbers. So for me, this week, that's a total of 26 reps on day 1, 25 reps on day 2, bringing my weekly total to 51 reps of squats at an average intensity of 74%. Now, it should be noted that for several months, I was actually squatting 3 times per week. I've recently switched to twice per week because Austin, my coach, carefully monitors my progress. I send him training videos of every session. He regularly asks me about how I'm feeling, and he found that dropping to twice a week was actually better for me. He has some trainees who squat 3 times per week and some that squat 4 times per week. This shows the importance of tracking training data. Squatting 3 times per week actually produced incredible results in a very short period of time for me. Literally not PRing any of my lifts for years, and within a few months I was setting personal bests on a weekly basis. No joke. But unfortunately that progress started to dwindle away and it was becoming very difficult for me to maintain, so twice per week is working great right now. So just for fun, let's see what my numbers were if I was still squatting 3 times per week. So the squat session that Austin dropped from my routine was usually 3 sets of 8 reps, all at RPE 8. This is an additional 24 reps at an average intensity of 74%. That brought my weekly total to 75 reps of squats at an average of 74% intensity. That's 3.75 times the volume at a 5% higher intensity than I was doing on 531. Now, to be fair, I am not squatting 3 times per week right now, so my current weekly total, at least for this week, is 51 reps at an average intensity of 74%. So that's still 2.5 times the volume at about 5% higher intensity than I was doing last year on 531. So now that I've shown my work, shown you how I'm getting these numbers, I'm just gonna list total volume and intensity for all of my other lifts. This is where things start to get good. You're gonna notice that my pressing volume is very high, much more than the squat and deadlift volume. And this is because lifters can tolerate more volume, intensity, and frequency for the upper body lifts. Why is that? Well, because the absolute systemic stress is generally lower. A hard bench press session is usually easy to recover from than a hard deadlift session. And as a side note, this is why I have struggled for so long to increase my upper body lifts. Every program I've followed, 531, Juggernaut method, the original cube method, Texas method, all prescribe the bench press with the same or even less volume and frequency than the squat and the deadlift. Squatting and deadlifting once per week were kind of helping. Bench press once per week, never helped me. And this is actually why a lot of typical gym bros have pretty good bench press numbers, because every day is chest day. Your body can tolerate a lot more pressing volume than you think. If not right now, over time it will adapt. If you're only pressing once per week, I don't suggest jumping up to 5 times per week. Try it twice a week, and then 3 times per week, and so on. So anyways, my deadlift. On the first week of 5 through 1, it's the exact same as the squat. 20 total reps at a 69.75% intensity weekly. On Tuesday of my current routine, I performed block pulls, 5 sets of 5 with an average intensity of 78%. On Friday, I performed 1 rep at RPE 8 and then 5 sets of 5 with 20% less. So that's a weekly total of 51 reps at an average intensity of 74%. Sound familiar? This is the same as the squat. So that's again about 2.5 times the deadlift volume at a 5% higher intensity than 5-3-1. Okay, now let's get to the good stuff. Pressing volume. I'm gonna lump all this together. Bench day and press day, overhead press day, are all considered pressing. So on 5-3-1, for the bench press, it's the same thing as the squat and the deadlift. 20 total reps at 69.75% average intensity weekly. Press 20 total reps at 69.75% average intensity. So that's a weekly total of 40 pressing reps at an average intensity of 69.75%. Now, check this out. On Monday this week, I performed pin press, 5 sets of 5 at an average of 78%. And then bench press, 4 sets of 6 at an average intensity of 79%. That's 49 reps at an average intensity of 78% on Monday. On Tuesday, I performed pin press again, 4 sets of 5 at an average of 81% intensity. Incline bench, 4 sets of 6 at 79% intensity. That's 44 reps at an average 79% intensity on Tuesday. And on Thursday, I performed the press, a top single and 5 sets of 5. Then I did slingshot bench, 4 sets of 5 at 81%. That's 46 reps at 76% on Thursday. And on Friday, I did the press, 5 sets of 5 with an average intensity of 78%. That's 25 reps on Friday at 78%. So, let's break this down. My pressing volume last year on 5-3-1, and this is no joke, I'm not exaggerating this, I've got the training logs right here, right? I'm looking at all the numbers, I'm not lying here. I averaged 40 total reps with an average intensity of 69.75% weekly. 40 total pressing reps. This week alone, I did 164 reps at an average intensity of 77%. That's just over 4 times the volume at almost 8% higher intensity. Now, I understand that the next week of 5-3-1 goes to 3x3 with higher percentages, and the last week is 5-3-1 with the highest percentages. So you can crunch those numbers too if you like. Spoiler alert, it's not very impressive. So I understand that this is not the best study. I'm actually not even a scientist. I'm just comparing some general numbers, but the differences between these numbers can tell us a lot. Now you can take this data and do with it what you will. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just trying to help you out so you're not spinning your wheels for as long as I was. What's the takeaway here? Increasing your exposure to volume at the appropriate intensity, 65 to 80%, is necessary for long-term progress. If you watched my last video about deload weeks, you're gonna hear the same thing that I closed with in that video. If you want something to take home, I would suggest downloading Austin Baraki and Jordan Feigenbaum's free ebook and program, The Bridge. You will learn a tremendous amount about programming, and the program is free, so you got nothing to complain about. I'll include a link to that program down below in the description area. Lastly, Austin and Jordan will be at Untamed Strength in November, Sacramento, California. Sign up for that seminar. Spots are limited. All the info to that is down in the description area of this video. Thanks for watching, and always remember, tread on time.